Holy crap, he's still alive? Not for long. During the past few weeks, I have been... Wow, that lighting is terrible. I look shiny as hell. That's not good. Excuse my greasy appearance. During the past few weeks, I have been doing other things with my time other than working on the S10. Those that involve something called a self-defense camera. If you don't know what I'm referencing, that's because YouTube will nuke me into oblivion if they know what I'm actually talking about. It's a reference to ASDF videos from Tomska. So there you go.
Hey guys, check out my new camera.
Anyways, it came to my attention the other day when I was at the gym. There was a flyer for Cars and Coffee on May 31st. And I realized I'm moving out of this town like halfway through June. So a Cars and Coffee in May would be awesome. Except that my truck does not have an engine swapped in it yet. And it looks like trash on the outside. So I have two options. A, I make her look pretty, which ain't gonna happen. It's not good. Or B, I hurry up and swap the engine in 30 days, which I could probably do. And then I realized I don't have to make it look pretty and swap the engine. I can just make it look semi-presentable and swap the engine. So we're gonna do that. Step one of that is to paint the Duraflex bumper that I ordered from KBD like I think 3 years ago, honestly. I've had this thing on forever, and I just never painted it. I never even cleaned it. You can see the finish on it now is literally, I put scouring powder on it with bleach and then scrubbed it with greeny weenies. And now it looks like that, which means I got all the mold release off, which is great. So now I'm going to prep it for paint. You're supposed to put a flexible primer on this and then paint it. I'm not doing that because I want to piss you off. On a serious note, it's like $55 for a quart of flexible primer. I'm not paying that. I'm sorry. And then people are like, oh, just use adhesion promoter instead of the flexible primer. It's great. Bulldog adhesion promoter. That's like $75 for a quart. That's insane. I would rather just... Listen, the paint I am using is Rust-Oleum oil-based like tractor paint. I don't care. I'm not gonna prime it. And you know what? If it sucks, you're gonna find out in about 2 seconds. But if you look right here, I had to do some Bondo fiberglassing here. This is just that Bondo stuff with the fiberglass strands inside of it. I did that instead of normal Bondo because it is a flexi piece. Regular Bondo is very brittle. When it dries, this stuff's a little more versatile. There was like a chunk missing out of this. I think what happened when this was molded was there was an air bubble here. And so I dropped the bumper at some point or something, and it cracked the outside off, and so there was just a hole. This part's hidden, so it didn't really matter, but I just filled it in. I'm going to sand that really quick with some 80 grit, and then I'm going to hit it with some 120 grit, and then we're going to paint this thing in this beautiful makeshift paint booth that's just using my garage rafters for my garage door to hold up the plastic sheeting, and it looks like I'm Dexter Morgan in here. So that's going to get sanded and look like this. Much nicer, much smoother. It's not perfect. If you look, there's some gaps here, but I just wanted it close. Once again, that area is hidden, and it's put kind of like inside the wheel well, so it just has to be not a giant hole. If you're wondering why I'm being a and wearing a respirator, it's because this stuff is fiberglass, and I've gotten fiberglass on my fingers, which I'm now realizing I'm not wearing gloves. But I've gotten it in my lungs and throat before, and it is very uncomfy, so I'm not taking no chances. I started with 80 grit sandpaper to knock the big stuff off, swapped to 120. I know 3M and Bondo says to use 180, but those came in a combo pack, and I'm a cheap bastard. Anyways, now that that's close, spray it down with compressed air and then wipe it with acetone, and then I'm going to hit it with some regular primer. I'm not going to use flex primer because this area is one of the stiffer areas of the actual bumper, so it's not going to like flex a bunch and crack the primer, and obviously it's only going to be this tiny little area. Okay, here's a little bit better of a close-up for what this looks like. Once again, I know it's not great, there's pinholes everywhere, but once again, this area is hidden, and it's a 10-foot car. It's supposed to go fast and look neat from a distance if it would focus. So I'm really not overly concerned with the way this thing looks up close, right? Once again, if I did care, I would prime this with flexible primer and Bulldog adhesion promoter and spend the $150 and then actually paint it really, but I'm lazy and I don't care. So in theory, it's fine.
I can feel the needles in my hand.
Okay, so I'm relatively confident that there's not a bunch of junk in the air now. So I took my mask off. You can see the imprints. It's really nice. Now I know what you're thinking. Lentateo, how are you going to paint all the sides of this thing without stands? Let me show you this. Bada booey. Now, is this the best or smartest way to do this? Absolutely not. It is dangling from two strings that are tied to, once again, the tracks on my garage door. I understand that this is not ideal. I do have washers underneath here, and then I just tied some quick release knots so that they're not annoying to get undone. But that suspends this in midair. What this allows me to do is get the majority of the front really easily, like how you typically would. But I can also just squat down and get the entire underside, and then take the HVLP gun and just get it super easy. And then even with the backside, I can come back in here and hit it like that. Instead of having it on stands where it's like face up, I don't have stands and this is easy. I'm a little worried about this bendy bits here, but also like, it'll probably be fine. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hit this area with primer really quick, and then I'm gonna go to the gym so that can fully dry. And then when I come back from the gym, I'm either going to just wet sand it or just dry sand it with 400 or 600 grit, just to make her nice and pretty and ready for paint tomorrow. Now, I don't know if you guys have been around for long enough, but I did a video of when I initially painted the S10 in my dad's shop, and I got a ton of hate saying I did it wrong, I used the wrong ingredients, the airflow was wrong, I was going to blow myself up with LED bulbs because they thought they were fluorescent. I'm going to do the same thing again because I don't care. I'm going to use an HVLP gun that I got from Harbor Freight for 10 bucks. I just want it to be gray. It can be orange peeled, it can be not quite perfectly paint matched, it can be semi-ugly, the paint can crack. It just needs to be gray. The truck is not a show truck. The truck go fast and gaslight people. It's called Project Gaslight for a reason. Also, I haven't told you why I call it that yet, but I will soon. If you look right here, that is what all my spray patterns looked like. And I did what I could. I got it as good as possible, and I attempted to lay down a single coat. And then halfway through, I was like, fuck that. This shit's not working. So here are my running theories. Number one, this paint I have is very old. I did mix it very well, but it's old. So that's theory one. Theory two is the HVLP gun just never thoroughly got cleaned, which is weird because I ran a lot of acetone through it when I finished using it the first time. So it should have been clean. Theory three is, and I just now thought of this, there might be water in my air compressor, and I forgot to do a water separator for it, which means there could be moisture in that air. I don't know what does that. But now, not a big deal. I'll have to wet sand it now, but not a big deal. But fun fact, when you use Rust-Oleum random colored gray, they also make cans, which is what I have been messing with previously when I was working on other stuff in the bed of the truck. My touch-up paint was just a can of smoke gray. And so, knowing that my shit was how many curse words can I say in 5 minutes? I drove my happy booty to Walmart, and I bought 4 cans of just the spray cans. But, harsh she blows, that is base coat number 1, and the color looks good. The texture's not great. I don't know if you can see it yet, but it's very dropletty. But, I mean, I'm just going to wet sand it. It's really not a big deal. I'm going to put at least 2 coats on this tonight, and then I will evaluate it tomorrow morning after I let it dry. But it's all good. One of the main reasons I actually picked this paint was because you can get it in cans, like spray cans, for touch-ups. So if Tom's Refurb can paint a whole car with a spray paint can, then I can paint a bumper or two. All right, so the front bumper has had a full day to cure, and now it's just sitting on the garage floor. I know it's a mess, but... And if you look inside the paint booth, you will see the roll pan is now painted as well. The roll pan actually turned out really well when it comes to like paint quality and orange peel. The front bumper will definitely need wet sanded, but I think I'm just going to throw these on there onto the truck and just get a good clip or video just to show the color matching before I wet sand them, because I don't want to wait to get a clip until after I wet sand. That's going to suck and take way too long. All right, and there it is. That is the final result of painting that front bumper. If you look right here, you'll see that I broke the O-ring retention. I'll get some zip ties for it to look fine. I think I'm going to paint match the grill. I don't really like the way it looks, but it might grow on me. Now, I have not yet fit the roll pan to the truck yet, and that's simply because I want to get this video out there. It's been like a month since I've uploaded. I've been dilly-dallying, and I would like to just upload something so that you guys can have some content that you might enjoy. Who knows? See, that's all I have for today. At some point, I will mount this, and you'll see it in the future, but it will not be in this video, unfortunately. So, With that being said, please like the video, subscribe if you want to. If you have any sort of feedback, whether that's positive or negative, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. Don't be a dick about it, and have a good rest of your day.